I did Harley's show last night, and of course, being the biggest Jew I know, we talked about Israel quite a bit. I wanted to know where he was on the whole thing, pro-Palestine, pro-Israel. He refused to take a side. Frankly, I was surprised.
Did he?
But no, of course not.
No. Oh, I was gonna say I find that Harley sometimes articulates his thoughts around this really well. So
He does. Yeah, he actually wasn't like super on. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he wasn't super on the Israeli side. But I've been watching it this week. So the Israelis claimed and have been claiming for a long time that there's this like command network of tunnels underneath the hospital. And they even showed like this CGI thing that they made, based on, I guess, dreams or whatever. And it looks like a video game. You like go. It's that scene from Resident Evil where they show you the hive underneath the house, and it's like, wow, multiple levels, big chambers, a spider web, a network of tunnels down there, like ants.
Yeah.
And they raided that hospital. They went in. They conquered enough land where like they own everything, and then they just went in with men, took the hospital over. And I'm gonna be honest, there were more guns and weapons at my house than they found in that hospital. Which look, they found guns and weapons in the hospital, but like not enough to
not
justify.
A command center to destroy hospitals.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Then they go outside, and they are within sight of the hospital. Like they're like, that's the hospital. And it's maybe 350 feet away, 400 feet away, like a big parking lot away. And here's a tunnel, and they've like blown up like the shed that concealed the tunnel. But sure enough, there's a real deal like tunnel. It's not some hole somebody dug. It's like lined with bricks, and there's a steel ladder and conduit going down it. But it's like, all right, you got, the entrance to like, I mean, that could be a well for all I know. You got to go down there. What happened to that hive city you were showing me before?
Got WMDs under the children's wing.
No, for real?
Yeah, for sure.
Could it be anthrax?
It could be. I actually confirmed.
Could this tie them to back in 9/11 when they were mailing it out to all those senators? Are these the real 9/11 hijackers?
Yep, I think you're onto something. Yep.
In the network, in the hive.
Got to keep bombing. one more 1,000 bombs.
Israel's lying so hardcore on this shit that it's become a little frustrating and almost weird. Like when you tell a lie that is going to get wildly disproven tomorrow, I don't understand the point of this lie. Maybe some people never hear the truth that follows it. I don't know. But if you tell a lie, I expect it to be something you expect to get away with. I don't know how to even deal with the level of lying that Israel's reporting.
Yeah.
What's that old saying? A lie will make it twice around the world before the truth gets out of bed.
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm baffled by it. I am ill-equipped to handle lying on a really massive, over-the-top scale.
Yeah, you're right. The lies from overseas are getting
the lies that are over the top. I'm not prepared to like exaggeration. I can kind of dial back and get pretty close to where the truth is.
You want a good example? Another lie?
Sure.
Yeah.
So they got their PR guy, their propaganda guy down in the hospital, and he's like, we think this is the room where they kept hostages. Look here, a toilet with a curtain. Oh, and over here, look at this. This is the guards' duty list. This is where they checked in. Like this is where Muhammad would guard the guards, and then where Hakeem would guard the guards. And it's an Arabic thing on the wall, and
piece of paper and like a grid on the wall.
And I don't read Arabic, so I'm gonna take this motherfucker's word for it. I mean, he's showing it. They zoom in on the bitch, and everybody
like their lunch break schedule.
Anybody who can read Arabic goes, like no, that's just a calendar. That's just their like Monday. That's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. like
yeah,
what are you
it
doing?
Wasn't a schedule at all. And that's a great example, Kyle, because it ties into not only just an over the top lie that I wouldn't have expected them to make. I would have expected them to take a regular fucking calendar and tell me it was the duty list, the times that different guards work, but it's so obviously disprovable, so falsifiable.
And they don't need to, because there are hostages.
There are a billion people who can look at that piece of paper and identify you as a liar. I'm not one of them, but there's multi-billions who speak this language, I think.
I've seen.
And why would you try to get away with that lie?
Yeah, that takes an incredible amount of boldness to just be like, yeah, we're going with this propaganda that falls apart on 1 second of critical analysis. Like
They,
you have to
brought
be
a bunch of-
unbelievably bold to do that.
They did a thing also where they showed they were dropping off medical supplies for the hospital, and they're in these like big goofy crates that look empty, and they've taped a printout that says medical supplies in English to the side of them, and I'm just like, man, y'all suck at propaganda. You've had so much time to get ready for this. Like come on. The other side's so much better.
There's a Russian word for this disrespectful lying. I wish I had recall of it, but it's like, Taylor, if I'm lying to you and I know I'm lying and you know I'm lying and I know that you know I'm lying, right? So this is all out in the open, but I tell this lie because the power difference is so broad that you can't say shit. You're going to have to sit there and pretend that I'm not lying to you as I sit here and pretend I'm not lying to you. And there's nothing you can do about it because I'm Putin and you're anyone else in Russia. And
Naglia Losh.
Is that what it's called?
Losh.
Is that the word?
Disrespectful lie. Well, yeah, that's infuriating. The media, powerful parties do that all the time where they're like, we know we're lying to you and you know we're lying, but you can't do fuck about it. Like you have no institutional authority.
I've also seen this, and this was, I watch a lot. So it's not that I'm watching it. Like I'm multitasking. Like I'm in my room and I'm on the internet and CNN's playing and I'm fucking around on my phone, but it plays in the background a lot. Okay. And they were definitely on this narrative path, specifically at CNN, maybe 20 days ago, of like, whoa, they're going too hard in the paint. Look at all the dead Palestinians. They hadn't said a word about the October 7th stuff in a while. It was really about Israel's overreaction. That should have been the banner. Israel overreacts, question mark, exclamation. And somebody put their hand to them. Somebody came over and looked over their shoulder at their fucking PC screen and said, whoa, boys, forget who you work for? You're what team you're on? Wolf? Hey, Wolf, come here a minute, bitch. Yeah, heel, boy. You calm down.
On your hands and knees.
Larry King.
You end up like that light-skinned fellow that we let do the mornings now? Yeah, what was his name again? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. We're going to send you to a different island, an island of torture.
Exactly. See, nobody knows.
Totally fired. He might have been fully fired.
I think he got skirted off the morning show. But they changed. All of a sudden, it was like, did you forget how awful October 7th was? Well, let me get a grandma on here to remind you. You want to see some crying babies? You want to see some dead children? It's just nothing but the awfulness that they did in there. And then when they do go back to Palestine, it's like, brave Israelis delve deep into terror country this morning.
Yeah.
Dude, October 7th is another thing that's like coming. We all heard it. 40 decapitated babies. 40 babies decapitated with a machete.
It was 40 dead babies and one decapitated. Like it shifted. It like mutated.
It's dropped all the way down to one dead baby and 0 decapitations is the last I heard. And I'm like, I don't know. It like you went with 40 decapitated babies, and I couldn't believe it, and I should have never believed it.
Here's what I think
atrocity propaganda at the beginning of conflicts, like that's why it's hard to believe stuff, because everyone is going to have a vested interest in making their opponent in it look as inhuman and despicable as possible. And so, but when stuff like that falls apart, it just makes you be like, oh, okay, they lied about something like that. What the fuck else is being lied about?
I wish that was more true, because I do what you say happened. So, but my observation is a lot of people just saw the lie and never followed up, and that becomes the truth.
That's true. And the people that promulgated that in the beginning, a lot of them, you're correct, are now never going to address it again. They just shot decapitated babies out into the ether, and then when it gets disproven or debunked or walked down or whatever, there's just no addressing it ever again. Just now let that exist out in the ether.
So I said this to Harley last night. What I think happened, but nobody tells this story. Although when I go to, like, I don't know, there's some YouTubers who cover this who are Israeli, and what it seems like happened is when that thing went off, there were 2 groups of people. There was one group that was organized as fuck. Like it's like when you played in Tarkov and you could tell there were some Chads and there were some rats. Okay. The Chads showed up. They had fucking sights on their guns. They had fucking maps. They had GPS coordinates. They had cell phones of their own. And then there were teams, right, with a plan. We're going to go to this kibbutz. You wait till a person comes up with their key card. You shoot them when the gate goes open. We go in together. Like there's a clear, coordinated extermination plan for kibbutzes, which is farming communities, by the way.
Thank you. I was going to ask.
But then there were some rats running around, flip flops, AK, and a dream. And those guys were calling home all crazy, like, Dad, I'm here. I'm in Israel. I killed 10 Jews with my bare hands. I'm calling you on a dirty Jew's phone right now. Like I'm paraphrasing, but that's exactly what he said, more or less. You know, and that guy's not part of the team. And by the way, that guy's dad is like, oh, let me tell your mother. It was like he scored a touchdown. It's so awful over there. Like both, you know what I mean? Like Jesus Christ.
Dude, you
don't
can't. It's every time you think like, all right, these are the baddies. I'm on the other side. Oh, wait a minute. These are the baddies too. I'm on the other side. It's hard to find a good guy in this conflict.
A lot of people are getting like at least going by social media and trends, like not in mainstream media. Like most people, myself included, like really don't like the like group punishment stuff where it's like collective punishment, where it's like, oh, we have to punish all of these people and just indiscriminately take them all on because of this small subsect of them. And that's
World War II.
So what you're saying is
and
Israel
the Civil War
is killing
every war
innocent Palestinians, and that's hard to get on board with.
Yeah. Where it's like
every war is like that gets won. Yeah, everybody complains about us not winning wars. Israel's about to win one.
I mean, it's not a war to go in and just indiscriminately bomb civilian targets.
Like World War II?
I mean, mostly until England and Berlin got in their firebombing battle, like there was an effort not to do that as much. Like you don't want to do that.
As soon as Churchill had justification, which is thin and somewhat fabricated, they didn't mean to hit London and kill those civilians, really. They destroyed Dresden. I used to work with it. He's dead now, I'm sure, but he was like a 7 or 8 year old boy in Germany. He's like, I remember the bombings.
Yeah, I'm sure having your city firebombed would be fucking terrible. But like, yeah, like huge amounts of people are not cool with the collective punishment that's being put on.
I'm okay with it, I guess.
Yeah,
I
definitely
think there's no way to. I don't think there's any way to get at the bad guys without killing a bunch of poor innocent people. And
I mean, it said like
there
this.
Definitely are.
I was listening to this guy. He was a very good debater, and he was talking to someone and said, "Hey, collateral damage is just part of war. Like this happens. It's not something the Israelis want." So he asked this question. Let's say hypothetically that Hamas, the bad guys you really want, they're in Israel instead of Palestine. So now they're in Israel. Would Israel change their tactic about how they went after them? Would they just bomb a hospital or a refugee camp and say, hey, sorry about those 300 Israelis, but there was a Hamas leader there, so what are you going to do? Would they take out like apartment buildings, hospitals, whatever they're taking out, schools, and say, this school was fair game. Sorry, Israel, I know we're ruining our country, but there was a bad guy in that school, so fuck the whole building and all the innocents that come with it.
It's hard to make an equivalency there, though, right? Because if like the case is in Palestine, where this didn't just flare up overnight. It's not like hey, some guys just ran into the school. Should we firebomb it? No, let's wait till tomorrow. Like that, they've been launching rockets for like years and years and years, right? Like they've always been using their schools and hospitals to house weaponry and to stage attacks and stuff like that. The equivalency would be like if they had all been in Israel doing that. If there had always been a bad neighborhood of
Oxford commas, who is like, I'm not in control if Hamas puts a thing in this other room down there. Why are you killing me and the students?
Yeah.
Because Hamas is strong arming one of the rooms in this building. And like I said, it was really powerful, the argument to me, for him to be like, you think Israel would do it differently if they were killing innocent Israelis? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They'd be sending fucking Israeli SEAL Team 6 into there and precision surgically taking out the bad guys. It would just be open season John Wicking bad guys every time they could. But no, They're only Palestinians, subhuman rats, vermin, whatever. You could just go in there with a tank and blow out any building.
Quoting Hitler over there.
And if there's a chance of hitting one Hamas guy, you can kill as many Palestinians as you want.
Yeah,
we're still good guys,
dude.
right?
That story Kyle told, not even a story. When you told me, you're like, did you hear that Israel bombed a refugee camp, like a whole camp, because they said one guy was there? I was like,
got him.
There is 100% chance Kyle's being hyperbolic here. No, there was a guy they were going for, and they bombed the refugee.
Yeah, we blow up weddings when there's one guy.
Yeah, that's wrong too. That's bad.
And I think that one was literally an accident. Well, at least they told me it was. So what do I know?
Yeah, you want to minimize the number of civilians and people who are just trying to live their life getting caught in the crossfire and being killed. And there doesn't seem to be any effort of that at all. I think Rumsfeld would be on the opposite side, saying,
"Oh, that was what he said right back in the day. He's like, we're creating terrorists, as with every bomb." I think he had a quote.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's not us, on the front lines necessarily getting hurt. I know a lot of U.S. personnel's gotten. They keep talking about the traumatic brain injuries, which I think are being caused by either impacts or missile interceptions above their heads or outside secure facilities. But it's dozens now of U.S. personnel with these traumatic brain injuries, and they've had it before with like similar incidents of like rocket attacks or missile attacks or whatever in the Middle East. There aren't that many personnel out there, but the number of flare-ups that we've had in we're having a little war with Iran right now, like U.S. Versus Iran in Syria. Lots and lots of sites are being struck. And I think they shot down, someone shot down one of our Reaper drones last week.
Reaper. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I heard Reefer drones, and I'm like, did it work? Did it get them all high?
Everybody just needs to chill out. It's just land, man. Kill that guy.
It's just land until it's your land,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Then when you're being told that you got to leave your house and, you flee, and then the escape route gets bombed, it's like, yeah, this is not chill.
I mean,
I tone down on the rhetoric.
I give this fucking 2 thumbs down.
Let's avoid all right, Taylor. Let's avoid the facts for a while.
That's how I review it. I go 1 star. Would have put 0 if I could. That's how I review it.
Yeah. It's a fucking mess. I want to see some more future tech. That's what I'm in this game for. I want to see some trophy system use. I want to see that foam that they use to seal up the tunnels or whatever. They said they're sending in like robots or drones, and then they're exploding and making foam to seal the tunnels up. I want to see that happen. I want to see some Terminator drones that like spider through and like kill people. Maybe I'd love to see that, a spider drone with a weapon.
Do you know what the foam is like afterwards, Kyle? So I have experience with expanding foam, and one of the use cases I've used it for that doesn't work is to keep mice out. So like in this house, maybe the wires were routed through like a 2x4 or something, and mice can fit in the smallest holes. So you have to like hit it with grate stuff, or it doesn't work. The mice will chew the foam and get out. You have to put steel wool in there, I've learned. Anyway, but if a mouse can bite the foam, then it seems like someone could claw through and unfoam a tunnel in a day or two. Like 3 motivated men with a shovel can wreck a lot of foam. Or is it tougher than that?
Yeah, that would be my question as well. Like I genuinely have no idea. The thing that seemed to make the most sense to me, I remember they were pumping seawater into them, because the ocean's right there, and it's like, oh, that's how you do it. Back when I was a kid, we had rats on the farm, and they would get under those concrete pads, like big concrete pads, and we would use carbon monoxide exhaust from an old truck. We'd plug up all the holes but 2. You'd have an entrance and an exit. Entrance on opposite sides of the big concrete pad, and we would pump the exhaust straight into it, and somebody'd be over there tapping their foot on the gas, and the rats would come stumbling out of the other side eventually, so drunk that they couldn't like stay upright really, and we would just pop them with a pistol as they came out.
Why wouldn't you just put like
a screen door over it?
A screen door or something. That way you don't have to worry about picking up a bunch of rats.
Yeah, I would just keep the rats right where they were.
Well, we want to get them all.
They feed the worms, and they go back into the atmosphere or whatever.
No, you want to see them, and we're getting something. So like part of it is we're going to drive them all out and get them. I want to see how many are.
Oh, so this was a day. Football wasn't on, and so you had to have something to do.
That's every day on like a farm. It's like, what do you want to do? We've done our chores. What would you like? There's 30 open projects we could work on.
What was your worst chore that you dreaded more than anything?
Anything where my hands got beat up or rough or dried out. Fencing is particularly hard. I don't know if you've ever driven steel fence posts with you use this fence post driver thing. You hold on each side. It goes over the top, sort of like it's hollow, and it goes over the post and bing, 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 driving it. That's very hard work if the ground is hard, and it is here. It's hard, compressed red clay.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard work.
I helped my grandpa take a fence down like 2 weeks ago when me and my brothers went down there. It was this old fence that was like probably 500 yards, like long and whatnot, and it had wire and everything. And I didn't fully like the way you do that is, you go through, you unhook the wires and everything. Then one person goes and you take these were like just metal posts for an electric fence that was previously keeping cattle in, and you just get those metal sticks, the posts, and you bend them back and forth until they'll come out, and you pull them out. And we had a tractor.
That's how I do it. We use a tractor and we have a 3-inch wide nylon rope, and we just wrap it around it so it self tightens.
Chain will do the same.
Only a couple of them were so bad that we needed to use the tractor, but the tractor was mostly like my brother was driving it next to me, and so I was going and like just picking up the metal pieces and throwing it into the tractor bale or collector, whatever. But I was in the job where, like, if you've ever spun up an old wire, like an electrified wire, like there's a little apparatus that you fold out and then stick in the ground, and then you start it by wrapping it on these 4 spokes, and then you just turn and crank it. And of course it's like right next to the ground. And so I was like in the worst back position for like an hour doing it. And I remember like getting probably, because I didn't look to see how long the fence was, but after like 25 minutes of just like, there's no crank on it. So you're just physically spinning it like this with your hands. I was like, this is awful. Being a farmer would suck. Like, my God, Grandpa, how did you do this for so long? This is the easiest part of farming.
He's like, wait, you gotta turn it on, son. It's like, rah, 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 rah. It just loads up. I've had some moments like that. We try to hire people that know what they were doing. And they'd be doing something ass backwards.